Alrighty, guys, SoFi, let's break it down. Cheers, by the way. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Happy Sunday. Hope you're all having a great weekend so far. Let's talk about SoFi. Let's break down these charts, see where we're at right now, heading into this brand new week, and go over where I see this stock going, guys. And don't worry, we'll cover some other stocks as well later in the video. So let's dive into it. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out the Patreon for my portfolio updates, linked down below, also pinned in the comments. And now, guys, let's get into it. So SoFi went down about 0.5% on Friday. We actually downtrended for really, it was just the first hour or two of the day. Then we consolidated for the rest of the day. You guys can see SoFi hit 28.60 in the morning Friday pre-market. Then we opened at about 28.50, 45-ish. Then we dumped to 27.50. That was about a 3% drop in the first hour of trading, roughly, right? And then we consolidated for the rest of the day. And you guys can see on the 5-day, SoFi's been, seeing a healthy pullback. SoFi's been downtrending pretty much the entire week last week. In the short term, it's been downtrending, right? Last week, we made lower lows, lower highs the entire week, right? I guess Friday, we didn't take the lows out from Thursday, which is a good sign. That's a good sign for the bulls that we didn't go under 27. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign that a bottom is slowly starting to put itself in here. We'll see. And on the 30-minute chart, you guys see, the fact that we did not take the lows out from Thursday. You can see it on this time frame. It's even better on this time frame because, look, if we took out that $27 low, guys, we might have been going for that 26.13 level that we hit on the 17th of September, which would not be good. That would be a clear sign that we're actually breaking trend on the 4-hour chart or that we're heading towards that. On the 4-hour chart, you guys can see here that we're still obviously maintaining an uptrend. This was a much needed pullback. We hit 31. Now we're at 28, 27.50, right? Maintaining the 180 SMA, which happens to be at 26.15 here on the 4-hour chart. This looks good on SoFi, guys, for sure. And on the 20-day chart, even though we have a slight subtle death cross, the trend is still holding. We still look A-okay, at least in my opinion, So we got the healthy pullback. And it might come down a little more, guys, honestly, on Monday, tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. That would be healthy, I think. If it gapped down one more time, let's say it did take that $27 low out. Let's say we got to 26, 26.50. That would be a great spot because at that point, we would be down about 15% from all-time highs. We'd be in correction territory. I think that's healthy. And overall, that's what I'm watching for this week. If we get that little gap down Monday, Tuesday, let's see if the buyers come in waves to push this thing back up and continue the overall uptrend, right? So I'm in SoFi. You guys know that. I'm a long-term investor. I've owned the stock since the mid single digits, and I'm looking at it as a swing trade as well here. I have my long-term portfolios, then I have my trading accounts, right? And typically, I don't really intermingle those too much, right? I don't really do much trading or in the long-term account. Sometimes, we do, but in that swing trading account, I'm looking to potentially add SoFi here this week, especially, like I said, if we get that gap down on Monday into the 26s tomorrow or Tuesday, we'll see. That could open up an entry. So for that swing account, that's what I'm looking for. And overall, I do see SoFi continuing the uptrend. I don't see a market, unless the market crashes, we'll see. But I don't see a scenario where SoFi goes back to the low 20s, in this year at least. It looks really good here on the chart. It doesn't look like we want to see a drawdown. But you never know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm super curious. And let's go over now some other stocks that I'm looking at. So CrowdStrike, you guys know I used to own CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is actually starting to come back to life a little bit here. I sold it back in June, July, that time period. So I held the stock for about a year. made a good amount of money on it. I think like 50-60% if I remember correctly. And since that point, well, it sold off a good chunk. CrowdStrike went down from 520 to about 380, 385 until now. Now it's starting to rebound. We're starting to recover back over these moving averages. We've been doing that the last couple of weeks. We have a golden cross, right? CrowdStrike is actually seeing recently a little pullback within the overall breakout, which is good. This pullback within the overall breakout could be opening up a buy the dip opportunity, right? We went from 505 now to 470 over the last couple of days. It sold off. It got way overbought, so rightfully so. And now we're starting to rebound again. On Friday, we had a 2% green day on CrowdStrike, right? Nice green day. Looks like we're starting to see a higher low being put in. The stock's starting to turn back up here. So I like CrowdStrike for a trade, maybe back to 500. Would I buy it here as a long-term investment? Probably not. I wouldn't, because I think it's too highly valued now. I mean, why would I buy it as a long-term investment when I owned it at a much cheaper price and I sold it, So at this point, for me to buy back in, I would need to see it under 300, which I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen, guys. We'll see. But for me, guys, CrowdStrike now is a trade. I'm looking at it here. Cup and handle arguably forming as well. So CRWD, watch it. Let me see. I'll do another one or two here. Circle is one that I've been keeping an eye on. I've been mentioning it here on the channel here and there because I am noticing some signs of a potential breakout, or I guess it was showing signs before last week, but then last week it downtrended. So Circle is one that is still downtrending. It tried breaking out, but we failed a little bit. So the second it takes this channel out, or this trend line, whatever you want to call it, I think we're going to see more upside, but we're just not there yet. We got to wait for it. And I think the breakout spot is I would say above 150 on this stock. So I'm going to set my alert at $150 per share. And let's see, I've been getting a lot of questions on energy stocks. Are we going to see rotation into energy? It kind of almost looks like we are. Yeah, it looks like XLE, this energy ETF, is starting to break out. Guys, this looks really good. And I'm glad somebody pointed that out in the comments. It does seem like we're getting a rotation into energy right now. The high here on the 4-hour chart on XLE is $95 a share. We hit that back in January. We hit that back in April, right? And we haven't been in the mid-90s since then, since Liberation Day when the market crashed, right? And now, clearly, we have an ascending triangle. Do you guys see that? We have higher lows being made into this resistance at $90, $91 a share, right? And guess what, guys? Guess what? XLE starting to break out over $90 to $91. We closed over 92, or actually we're over 92 as of the aftermarket Friday. So XLE is starting to go, and we actually hit almost $93 on Friday intraday. So this ETF, yes, I see it. The rotations here, the breakouts here, $95 it looks like is where XLE is going in the short term. And guys, if $95 breaks, this is going to a fresh high, at least on the 3-year chart after that, probably to $98, $99. What the heck's the all-time high on XLE? I don't even remember. 101.50? Yeah, that's officially now in the crosshairs again. We're pushing that, especially if 95 breaks. We'll see. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check out the Patreon for my portfolio updates. If you guys want to see what I'm buying, trades I'm making, investments, all that, it's on Patreon. And the Patreon portfolio linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfest.com/Patreon. That easy. Make sure you guys join. And with that being said, I'll see you in there. Cheers. Have a great rest of your day.